call here on Facebook, Zoom, as well as on YouTube. And we are going to continue our discussions on the Bhagavad Gita from chapter 7, but we will do so after these brief prayers to the spiritual master. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnāna-vān Chakshurunmilitam
How do I make
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadhutam Parishana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay, so which verse are we going to do? Who remembers that?
7.19?
7.19.
Most favorite verse of everybody.
7.19, is it?
Yes.
All right, so let's bring up 7.9 should be
bahūnāṁ janmanām ante.
bahūnāṁ janmanām ante
jñānavān māṁ prapadyate.
All right.
Vāsudeva sarvam iti. So mahā-ātmā su-durlabhaḥ.
Okay, so bringing up 7.19 here. Now where did my 7.19 go away? Screen show up. Okay. Share 7.19 coming up for you. Okay. So you already know this verse?
Yes.
Bahūnāṁ janmanām ante
jñānavān
jñānavān māṁ prapadyate
vāsudevaḥ sarvam iti
mahā-ātmā
su-durlabhaḥ.
Synonyms now. Bahūnāṁ means many. Janmanām means repeated birth and death. What is another word for repeated birth and death?
Oh God.
Samsar.
Samsara sagaram.
Right? Samsar. Okay, bahūnāṁ janmanām ante jñānavān māṁ prapadyate. So, janmanām, repeated birth and death, ante, after. Jñānavān, one who is in full knowledge. One who is in full strength, what will you call him?
jñānavān. jñānavān.
One who is in full strength.
What
do you call him?
Balvan.
Balvan. Right. Mom, unto me. Prapadyate, surrenders. Vāsudevaḥ, the personality of Godhead Krishna. Sarvam, everything. Iti, does. Saha, that. mahā-ātmā, great soul. Su-durlabhaḥ, very rare to see.
Mataji, can you make the screen a little bigger?
A little bigger for you?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Bigger screen coming up momentarily on a screen close to you.
Thank you.
All righty. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals after many, many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pure knowledge is what? The pure knowledge that he gets is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life and that these activities constitute devotional service. Realizing this, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa's mercy is everything, that he is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from him. He realizes the material world to be a perverted reflection of spiritual variegatedness and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. Thus, he thinks of everything in relation to Vāsudeva or Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Such a universal vision of Vāsudeva precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa as the highest goal. Such surrendered great souls are very rare. This verse is very nicely explained in the third chapter, verses 14 and 15 of the Shweta-ashvatar Upanishad. Sahasra Shīrsha Purushaha Sahasra Rakshaha Sahasrapat Sabhumin Vishvato Vritva Tyatishtat Dashangulam
Angulam.
Purusha evedam sarvam yad bhutam yachcha bhayam utamritavya shano yad anena tirohati. Lord Vishnu has thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, and thousands of feet, entirely encompassing the whole universe. He still extends beyond it by 10 fingers breadth. He is, in fact, this entire universe. He's all that was and all that will be. He is the Lord of immortality and all that is nourished by food. In the Chandogya Upanishad 5.1.15, it is said, Na vai vacho na chakshumsi na strotrani na mamansitya achakshate prana iti eva chakshate prano hi evetani sarvani bhavanti. In the body of a living being, neither the power to speak, na vai vacho, nor the power to see, na chakshumsi, nor the power to hear, na shrotrani, na manapsyanti, nor the power to think, is a prime factor. It is life which is the center of all activities. Similarly, Lord Vāsudeva, or the personality of Godhead, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, is the prime entity in everything. In this body, there are powers of speaking, of seeing, of hearing, of mental activities, etc. But these are not important if not related to the Supreme Lord. And because Vāsudeva is all-pervading and everything is Vāsudeva, the devotees surrender in full knowledge. Bhagavad-gita 7.17 and 11.40. Okay, so I'll stop here and let's see. Take some reflections that you have, any thoughts that come to your mind from what you heard so far.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, in the first sentence is the living entity while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals after many, many births. So here, why ritual is used?
There's nothing wrong with rituals. Rituals are good, right? What is a ritual?
A ritual, the one
Give me some example of rituals.
In the life, Mataji, ritual is getting up, brushing your teeth, getting ready. So that is, but transcendental ritual is, you see, cleaning the temple and giving bath to the Lord, dressing up the Lord. So won't that be also ritual?
Yeah, that is a ritual. So there's nothing wrong in having a ritual. See, some people have a ritual that they will get together on a Friday afternoon. They'll go to a pub. They'll drink till they're crazy and drop.
Yeah.
That is also a ritual.
That is also a ritual. So,
right?
What I'm trying to say is, Mataji, a person who is doing only the rituals but not studying Bhagavad-gita and getting into it and not studying the Shastras and not going according to them and only following that, because at the time of Buddha, people had the ritual of sacrificing, and that sacrifice was actually not recommended, but they were Brahmanas were doing it because they felt that it is written in the Vedas, but they did not see the right thing. Why are they doing? So that's why this question came to my mind.
And what is the question? I'm not understanding the question.
Mataji, whether we should, go only about the rituals, or we should go, we have to look into the study of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and all that.
Combined is both is better, right? Because just doing things, the religion without philosophy, Prabhupada says, is sentimentalism. Right? Sometimes we might just go and listen and sit in a class and lecture, and it's like, oh, they talked about Krishna, there were tears in my eyes, and you start crying, right? And then you come back home and your life is back to normal. So to understand, it's not that it's wrong to cry for Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to cry, but then he had the knowledge, right? All his knowledge we know in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Fantastic knowledge that he gave to Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. So just being sentimental without understanding why am I loving Krishna? Why do you think we should love Krishna?
He is our supreme. He has given us everything, and we should be thankful to him and do his puja, and we should perform our duties towards him. Devotional service.
But the question was, why should we love Krishna?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. The question is, why do you think we should love Krishna?
Because he is my father. I love him.
He's your father.
He loves us.
He loves you. Yeah. That is the important thing, that we love him because he loves us, right? Yeah. Because if we think, and there's a little danger. So it's a very fine line. That's why they say padam padam yad vipadam natesham. It's a very fine line. If I get into the habit of saying, thank you, Krishna, you gave me this, it's a very good thing, because gratitude is a nice thing. I'm saying thank you. Okay? But what if Krishna stops giving you things?
I think we should even then thank him, because we should, certain things only that we deserve, he gives us. If we don't deserve it, he doesn't give us, doesn't mean that we lose our gratitude for him.
Yes, and that's the most difficult part, right? And that's what today's verse is saying. Bahūnāṁ janmanām ante jñānavān maṁ prapadyate. When you get that kind of a knowledge, right? So it's okay for a knowledge to start in the beginning. I still remember when my younger sister was small. I was also a small girl. So mom used to get some, sweets, candies for her. And in India, that in our age, like our lifetimes, we were not very indulgent. It was not that, here people will sit and eat a whole bag of candy like that, or home will be full of candies. It was not like that. You go buy one candy, eat it, and that's it. I used to be very happy with that. So anyway, so if candies came, they were only for the small children in the family and not in the big one. And I was tasked with, when she wants a candy in the evening, you'll give her one or something like that. So I would make her go to the so you know how bricks are there, so I would put 2 bricks like that, one on top of each other, then one brick on top of that, and then I'll put a little DT inside it. That was the games that we used to play in those days, because there were no, you know, these games that kids play nowadays. So we used to just play with those kind of things. And Prabhupada also, you know, used to play like that. In that age, that's how it used to be. And so whenever there was a time, I would just go and say, like, you know, go and ask God for a toffee. And then I would hide one behind the DT, and then I'll ask her to go there, pick it. Right? So that's the beginning. That's just the beginning of devotional service, that, you know, okay, so if I ask God and he's going to give me, right? And like I said last time, that it's a very dangerous situation, because if that's all that you do, if you're a artho, right? If you're an artho, then if God doesn't give you something, because as one of you said, that you don't deserve it, or it is wrong for you to get it, right? You'll be spoiled by getting that. Your devotional service will be spoiled if Krishna doesn't give it. But if our relationship with Krishna is that, you know, he is my order supplier, I ask for things and he gives me, and as long as he gives me, that's fine, right? And that's why sometimes people also say, in relationships also they say, right? Even in our relationship with human beings, they say that, oh, my wife, as long as I do whatever she wants me to do, she's the sweetest person. The moment I don't give her something, you know, for her jewelry she wanted, or then, you know, and same happens to husbands as well, right? So that relationship, to go to Krishna. So the main question here is that why should I love Krishna? I love Krishna because he loves me. That is the highest, you know, I love Krishna because of that relationship. And anything can happen in love. Love doesn't necessarily mean giving things. Love sometimes also means not giving things, right? And Prabhupada gives that very classic example of two children. A couple had children, and I think the younger son was just recovering from typhoid. And he was in a very strict dietary restriction that he's not supposed to eat anything. And one day the parents had to go somewhere. So they asked the elder brother, who was also a small boy, and said, you take care of him. And don't give him, you know, chapati or whatever he asked for, or laddu or whatever, because the typhoid means it's a disease of the stomach, right? So, and then as soon as the parents went, this younger boy, you know, asked the elder brother, can I have a laddu or whatever, right? And then this boy just said that, you know, oh, pure boy, he's asking me for this. Let me give this to him. And he gave it. And as soon as he had started eating the laddu, he had, you know, reactions. And then luckily the parents came back, you know, and then they had to rush him to the doctor. So just giving anything to anybody without thinking about it, you know, is also not nice. So Krishna shows that. I mean, have we always given everything to our children?
No, Mataji. Many a times we stop them.
Many times you stop them, right? The reason, and that is the love. For parents who don't stop them, you know, they are not really loving the kids. They love themselves because they want to be in the good books of the kids, right? I just want my kid to say I'm the fantastic mother in the world. So I'll just agree to whatever my child says. And sometimes we have to be strict. That's called tough love. So Krishna doles out tough love for us.
Yeah.
Like that, right? So if you just get into that, and stay in that mode of, you know, I'm asking Krishna, then the danger is there that the day we don't get, then it'll be like, there's no God. Everything that I got earlier was from fluke. I had a misunderstanding in my head. I thought everything is coming from Krishna, but I don't think it comes from Krishna. So there's a tendency for us to go there into it. So whenever we should be armed with knowledge. Okay? Be armed with knowledge. We should have that knowledge. Otherwise, without that knowledge, jñāna-vān prapadyate. Once you understand. And what does the jñāna-vān understand? From today's verse, what is the jñāna-vān understanding?
That Krishna is the cause of all causes.
Right. Give me the Sanskrit for that.
jñānavān prapadyate.
No.
Vāsudevaḥ sarvam-iti.
Vāsudeva sarvam-iti. That's what he understands.
Yeah.
Vāsudeva is sarvam-iti. So he understands that Lord is everything. Okay.
Everything.
So now, what does it mean that Lord is everything?
Ishvara Parama Sajjan Anadir Govinda.
Yeah, can you elaborate a little bit on that? What does that mean?
He has no beginning, no end, and he is Sarvantrayami. He is everywhere.
Okay. Yeah. So, but my question is, what does it mean when we say Lord is everywhere? You
He
are saying
has the 6 opulences which no one else has.
he has the 6 opulences. When we say God is everything, that means he has the 6 opulences. And what are the 6 opulences?
ऐश्वर्यस्य समाग्रस्य ऐश्वर्य समा वीर्यस्य
wealth.
यशो श्रियः ज्ञानवैराग्य. He has Aishwarya. Yeah.
Full wealth, strength, beauty,
Wealth,
knowledge,
strength,
and
beauty.
renunciation.
Renunciation.
Right. So he has those 6 things. That's why he becomes that's what it means that he's everything. Vāsudeva sarvam.
No, because he's the source of everything. Everything emanates from him.
He's the source of everything. Everything emanates from him, right? And in this chapter, we have been talking a little bit about that Krishna is everywhere, right? Have we talked about that?
Yeah, yeah.
What did we talk about that in this chapter? Along those lines, what did we talk? When we are saying Krishna is everything, give me some examples. Quote it from the chapter 7, that Krishna is everything.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah.
Bijam mam sarvabhutanam.
Okay. I'm
Mahā-ātmā.
the seed. Okay. What else?
Punyo gandha prithvyam.
Punyo gandha prithvyam cha, right? So,
Jīvanam sarvabhuteshu.
right. So you see, rasoham apsu konteya,
Yeah.
suryayo. So what he's saying is that in this chapter, he's talking about his opulence, as you had listed. He's talking about the opulence, but in the context of this material world, right? So because we are in this material world, so sitting here in this material world, how can we relate to Krishna? The transcendental rituals will come later. Right now, I'm here in this material world, in a material body. How do I see Krishna? So here they were saying that, okay, Vāsudeva is there in the taste of the water, his son, like that, right? So, but the question is that, but the point over here is that when you see Krishna in everything, right? Which means that you are taking a few steps back and you're looking at this universe from a distance, right? And in the distance, when you look at things in the universe, you see bhumo, apo, mano, you see this universe is made up of 5 elements, and all these are his energies. You know, Rasuham, there is water flowing, so you think about Krishna. Like that, you're thinking and you're seeing that Krishna is there in everything. But what you're really seeing is some water droplets. What you're really seeing is a flower or earth and all that. So you don't see Krishna in the form. So when we think like that, and that's what Prabhupada is saying, then when you think like that, there is impersonalism is there, right? Because where is Krishna? This is water. Where is Krishna? That's a mountain, Himalaya. Where is Krishna? Right? So this is known as pantheism, right? When I was telling him, theism is thinking about the Lord, theology. So when you turn away, it's like a camera, right? You you move back, and then it's a zoom. You come, it's a pan, and when you come closer, it's called zoom, right? You zoom the lens. Yeah. So here, pantheism, theism means that when you see Krishna in everything.
Everything.
But the problem there is that you could go down the route of saying that Krishna does not have any form. Okay. So, so as a first step, people do that, right? They will just think like that. And Krishna says, and Prabhupada says, that's fine. Let them think like that. They're thinking about Krishna, and Krishna and his names are so powerful that they will purify you. They act as antiseptic and prophylactic, right? Ishopanishad says that. So ultimately, a person will get purified, and he can get purified by an association of devotees also, right? So bahūnāṁ janmanām ante jñāna-vān mahā prapadyate. So when that knowledge comes, when that knowledge comes to us that, okay, so I was seeing rasoham apsu konte, I'm seeing this water is very tasty, the sun is very warm, everything is very warm. And then when you start thinking that, how could this have been created? It just didn't get created by itself. There has to be some person who creates it. And then when you come to the conclusion that Krishna is that person, then you will surrender to Krishna. Jñānavān, once you get that jnana, then you will surrender to Krishna. Jñāna-vān mahā prapadyate. Right? But to do that kind of a thing, Vāsudeva sarvamiti, that Vāsudeva is everything, sa mahā-ātmā su-durlabhaḥ. right? It's not durlabh. Durlabh means very rare.
Rare.
Su-durlabhaḥ, su-durlabhaḥ.
Extremely rare. Extremely
Great
rare,
soul.
right? Great soul. So you will find that a lot of people, what they're doing is they're going to Krishna to get this and that, right? People go to demigods also when they want to ask for something, right? You go to demigods, I want this, I want that, and demigods will quickly, very quickly, they will give the results. And why they give the result? Because Krishna enables them to do that. Tam tam niyama asthaya, right? So he makes that their faith strong. Because they have some material desires, let them go to demigods and let them get their material desires fulfilled, right? And so they will do that, right? But and then ultimately, what's going to happen is when all material desires are being fulfilled, then everybody knows that everybody is disgusted with this material world. Yes or yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Right?
Namam dushkritina moda.
No, that's not the one. So everybody is disgusted with this material world. And so is that enough? Is this enough to be disgusted with this material world and to say, I don't have anything to do with this material world? Right? As our Guru Maharaj used to say that when he was young, he was like, oh, I'm practicing spiritualism and I won't touch money. So if his uncle came and gave him, hey, William, take $1, he would take it, but he would throw it away very far away, right? Like that. And just knowing that this is bad. Indulging in money is bad. Okay? So that's one stage. As he said, that was one stage. But then the higher stage that comes is that when you are so disgusted with this material world that you are going to Krishna and you're focusing, you're done with this material. I tried everything. Artho, I went to demigods. I went to Krishna. I asked for things and I thought I'll be happy. Right? And I'm never happy because happiness is Mrit Krishni Rupa. Shruti Sukham. It's just her. So, Adi Antavanta Kaunteya Nateshu Ramte Buddha. So Krishna says that in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad-gita that this material world has a beginning and has got an end. So knowing that this has got a beginning and got an end, we have to understand that material happiness will also have a beginning and it will have an end. Right? So jñānavān that we're talking about in 7th chapter, referred there also. Right? Na teshu, ramate buddha. Buddha means the intelligence, the jñānavān. They do not indulge in these material things. They know it. Right? And that this is dukhalayam ashashvatam. So then they will come to Krishna. Okay? So the interesting thing is that, it's better not to be meandering all the way and then finally going to Krishna. Right? And see, the beauty of Krishna is given in Acharyas give a very nice example. And that is that suppose a boy tries to make girlfriends, right? And then he gets rejected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 36, 50, whoever, you pick the number. And then he goes to the 51st and tells her that, you know what, I have been rejected by 50. I went to 50 and I did not get my desire fulfilled. That's why I'm coming to you. Will you marry me? How do you think the girl is going to feel?
You'll probably reject him outright.
Though he was saying frankly, he is telling the truth, but that girl thinks other way around. She rejects right away.
Right. Similarly, when bahūnāṁ, janmanām, ante, after going to all the demigods, then we are going to Krishna and we are saying, Krishna, we love you. And Krishna accepts us.
Krishna accepts us. Yeah.
Right? So that girl also will accept that boy only if she loves him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like who said that? Sukolna Ratemaji, right? Outright rejection. Our saving grace is that Krishna does not do outright rejection. He does not do that for us. That's our saving grace. Right? So we are, going up and down in the various planetary systems, and we are saying that, oh, Krishna took away, I went there to get some happiness, and this took away, Krishna took it away from me. Why is he doing that to him? Like, when Krishna takes things away from him, do not go away. Right? Do not go away from him. And we say no to God because we don't know him properly. That's why sometimes kids get upset with their mom. Like, my mom is very strict. I don't like her. She doesn't like me do that. But if they knew their mom rightly, right, then they would know that whatever the mom is doing is for their own good.
Right.
Because similarly, Krishna does things for our good. We are not there, right? So what happens is that our vision is so blurred from the material desires that we have. And from that, our material desires cover our glasses, and through that covered glasses, we are trying to see Krishna. So obviously, our vision will be distorted because we are seeing everything in the context of material, right? I want a car, that's materialism, right? So if in the lens of that desire to possess a car, when I go and look at Krishna, and if there is no car, then there is no Krishna, right? So see how our vision can get distorted. And we are only looking, and the problem here is that we are focused on the provision. What did you ask? The provision. We ignored the provider. If you had to sit back and take a step back and say, okay, I asked Krishna for, okay, fine, I need it. I asked Krishna, I have a relationship, but Krishna said no. So when you focus on the provider, even when the answer is no, then you will be satisfied like that, right? So that is very, very important. And sometimes people get into this thing like, oh, the gopis of Vrindavan, they were just, gopis, right? That was a cow village, and people used to just, milk the cows, and the gopis will be churning the butter. Oh, what a nice life, Why do I need gyan? I can be a gopi. Like that, right? One can think. But what is it? They are beyond that. They are at the highest level of gyan, the gopis, because they have understood Vāsudeva sarvam. And once you know that Krishna is the Supreme, Krishna is everything, then you surrendered. So they are surrendered souls of Krishna. So they might live very simply, right? The cowherd girls. They might live very simply. So in a person who's a devotee will be simple. The heart will also be very simple, right? They were simple ladies, right? But their mind is not simple. The mind has got full of knowledge. The mind has got the best knowledge. And what is the best knowledge? Vāsudeva sarvam. Right? That is what today's chapter is telling us about, that you have to do that all the time. So, bahūnāṁ janmanām ante, jñāna-vān prapadyate. Right? So, surrender is one thing, but going and asking for something is something else. Right? You go and ask your big boss in the office for a promotion. You asked, you got it. Surrender to the boss is something very different, right? Surrender to the boss is you'll keep on doing work for the boss, right? So what we try to do here is that we try to find things, answers to our questions. When am I going to get the Prius? When am I going to get the Tesla? When I'm going to become a millionaire?
According to our liking, now we want answers.
Correct. We're looking for answers, right?
Yeah.
So we are looking for Krishna for answers to our prayers. Right? I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, right? So from that level of asking Krishna for certain things or answers to my question, when am I going to get this? He says, yeah, in 6 weeks you'll get that, 6 years you'll get that, right? I'm in this trouble, well, with this trouble, some situation go away. Yeah, in 3 more months, the thastu, you'll be fine, right? So we're looking at my answers. from that mood, we have to change and make a paradigm shift. And we have to go to a place where we say, Krishna is the answer. It's just that we didn't ask the right question, right? Asking the right question is the best part of asking the question, right? That you have to ask the right question. It's very, very important. Sometimes teachers, to encourage the students, will come and say, okay, it's okay, no question is a stupid question. They might say that, right? But then asking questions is also an art, right? So why does Krishna then, allow people who take certain things, ask for things, why does he give them? The answer is that, let me give things to them, right? Let me give things to them so that their faith will increase a little bit. And let me give them material things. Let me give them material things. Let them figure it out. What happens when you go so much, right? So then what happens is that as we either get fulfilled in life, whatever desires we want, they got fulfilled, which is a rare thing, right? Because desires multiply, right? So either we get it that way, or we get something and we are thoroughly disgusted, right? Nama kinchana vittaya, nivritta gunavittaya, right? Akinchana, I become thoroughly materially exhausted and impoverished. I will turn and go to Krishna, right? So then when we let go of our specific desires, and then when we start focusing on Krishna, our consciousness gets clear. Cheto darpana marjana, right? The mind gets cleared. So mind gets cluttered, mind is dirty because of all these material desires that are there in our heart, right? So bahūnāṁ, janmanām, ante. Now, Arjuna asked that question. That what happens if somebody is, in 6th chapter, is unsuccessful, right? So right there, the two janmas are at least discussed there. You'll be born in a family of rich aristocrats, and the chance you'll come back again from there. Shine punya marte lokam vishanti. You go up and you come down, you go up and come down. Life and death, cycle of life, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. Same thing is happening over and over again, right? So, but sometimes you could, by the mercy of a devotee, right? Or you could have done some agyata sukriti. What is agyata sukriti?
That is previous birth. If we do any devotional activities,
Pious credits.
Yeah.
So sukriti is pious credits, agreed. But what is this agyata?
Oh.
You don't know.
Ignorance. We are
You
not
don't know
aware.
what.
You
Please
don't know.
expand a little bit more. Yeah.
Yes.
Without
You don't.
not doing.
Let her expand. Yeah.
You don't know how means the amount of Shukriti you have gathered.
Oh, you don't know your bank balance, is it? No. I was doing certain things. I was doing all good things every time. It's just that I didn't do my math. I didn't maintain my checkbook or my balance book or my bank passbook, right? That's not agyata sukriti, although yes, we do not know, that is for sure, but agyata sukriti term is not used for that. Agyata sukriti means that when you do something which is conducive to devotional service without you knowing it,
Results.
that you are doing it. For example, you are some gardener.
Unknowingly.
Exactly. So you are some gardener and you were plucking the weeds out of the garden, and then you poured some water, and then right below, close to a stone was a tulsi, and you watered it. Did you water it because you knew it was tulsi? No.
No.
Did you water it? Yes.
Yeah.
So you will get pious credits for this.
Unknowingly doing the service.
Unknowingly you did that. So that is agyata sukriti. So sometimes people just come and say, oh yeah, this thing happened. So tell me, what was my agyata sukriti? No, we can't tell you because it is agyat.
No, sir.
If it was gyat, if I knew, then what is the agyat sukriti? Agyat is you do not know what that person just did, right? So a person could do that, or you went and distributed prasad to somebody like that, or while you were, you are good at giving charity to hospitals, this and that, and then some Hare Krishna came and said, Prabhu, give me some donation, and you gave donation, right? So you do not know about that at all. So agyat sukriti, people doesn't know, right? And so then what happens is that because of that little thing that they did unknowingly, they will get connected to Krishna or get connected to Krishna's devotee. And from there, they will walk onto the path of devotional service. Right? So they will do that in the beginning, the bahūnāṁ, and that's what takes bahūnāṁ janmanām. It is going to take so many lifetimes to finish that particular activity till you come to the level where jñāna-vān maṁ prapadyate. And in between this and that, there is this ādau Shraddha tatha sadhu sangha tatha bhajana kriya, that whole thing, the 9 stages of devotional service till they take you to ultimate prema, ultimate goal of life, right? And this could be bahūnāṁ, janmanām. It could take many, many births. Okay? And the devotional service, the beauty of devotional service, the beauty of bhakti, is that bhakti is a goal in itself. It's not that you will do bhakti and then you will reach a particular goal. It's not that you will do bhakti and then you have done bhakti and now you're done. You wanted to do bachelor's and then you did master's and then you had a PhD or 2 tucked under your belt and that's it, I'm done. Bhakti is not like that. When you're doing devotional service to Krishna, what is it that you get as a result? More devotional service to Krishna. And that's it. So bhakti by itself is a means, as well as bhakti is the end of it, right? So in the association of devotees, right, having done some agyat sukriti, even someone who was just looking at Krishna, God, or just had some idea that there is God, there must be some superior intelligence behind all this material creation, does some agyat sukriti, he will get. One thing we have to remember is that you cannot get devotional service without the blessings of the devotees. That's why you see that people are always asking for blessings, and you should always get in the habit of collecting, right? So, Vāsudeva sarvam iti, right? Vāsudeva is everywhere, right? So we should not think that means that, like I said earlier, that Krishna is impersonal. He's there, he's everywhere, right? The classic example is when Hiranyakashipu was having a fight with his son, an argument with his son. And Prahlad was holding his ground. And then when his father said, so you say Krishna is everywhere? He said, yes, Vishnu is everywhere. And then Hiranyakashipu said, all right, if he is everywhere, then is he in this pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj said, yes. So he said, okay, fine, I'll kill him. So he took his mace and he mace or sword, I don't remember, he hit the pillar. And what came out of the pillar?
Narasimha.
Narasimha avatar, right? So yes, Vāsudeva sarvamiti, he's there, he's everywhere, but he's still aloof. And he says that in Bhagavad-gita, that, mayite teshu chabhyam, they are in me, but I'm not in them, like that, right? I'm still aloof from all of them. So Krishna says that, right? But so he's aloof, which basically means that he has got a body, right? He's separate. He's not just some concept like a taste in the water, right? Or something, energy that you feel out of the sun. He is that, but then achintya bheda bhed tattva is very difficult to understand, that how Krishna can be in everything and everything is in Krishna. It's mind-boggling thing, right? And it takes you bahūnāṁ janmanām ante. So at some point in time, while you're doing your pursuit and while you're doing your devotional service and even you are cultivating knowledge about Krishna, at a certain point in time, you will say, okay, enough. With this intellect, I cannot find Krishna or understand Krishna. I cannot conquer Krishna by my intellect because Krishna is infinite. I'll do that, right? So, bahūnāṁ janmanām ante. Just 3 janams, example of 3 janams. After 3 janams, somebody surrendered to Krishna. It's Bharat Maharaj. And in this verse, Prabhupada talks about, people have got material attachments, right? So Bharat Maharaj, and you can have vestiges of material attachment. You might think that everything is fine. I mean, he had given up his kingdom, his wife, his kids, everybody, right? And he was meditating in the jungle somewhere. And then his material attachments came back again. And what was the attachment?
Dear.
right? But what does that attachment show actually? What was the inner attachment that he had?
He was taking care of the deer and he forgot the devotion.
Yeah, but what was the other inner attachment that was there? Externally, we see he was attached to a deer, but what is the real attachment that he had?
Krishna.
I think, his real attachment towards the deer was that who will take care of him if I don't take care of him? And that is why at the time of death also, he was thinking of him.
Thinking of deer,
what will
who will take care of him?
Who will take care, right? Because he was the emperor. He took care of his praja, of his citizens. So that he was attached to that concept. And so there was this Vāsudeva sarvam iti no. If he thought Vāsudeva is everything, then he would have thought Vāsudeva will take care of the deer also.
Yeah.
So
Right?
Mataji, here also in Bharat Maharaj's life, and the I, that I came in between, and that is why. So it should not be there in our lives.
Right. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Shastakam, Trinad api sunichena. The humility is very, very yeah. So sometimes when you see other devotees are being glorified, some of them get a lot of glorification. And we will just say like, oh, I wish I would get that glorification. They are so nice. But glorification is a very dangerous thing.
Yes.
That will get that ego. Ego will
get you into the ego cycle. Right? So bahūnāṁ, janmanām, ante. So it took by Maharaj already, Bharat Maharaj was already at a very high level of understanding. But then it took him 3 births, right? Once as this king, and then he goes and becomes a deer, and then gives up the deer's body, right? And then in the 3rd time, he becomes very smart, and he says, I'm going to stay as a Jara Bharat. So, and in the beginning, we were talking about, the arto, jigyasu, artharthi. Right? 4 types of people, they surrender unto God. So, it's a very strong statement that we think of Krishna or God, right, as a means of solving our problems, right? Arto, jigyasu, artharthi, they all have problems, right? Need something. So we see Krishna as a means of solving our problems.
Yes.
Instead of that, we should see problems as a means of seeking Krishna.
Like Kunti Maharani thinks.
Correct. Right? So then we will not be superly overwhelmed when problems come in our lives. I'm not saying that problems are very easy, right? Somebody says that, you fell down, you broke a bone, and you're like, oh yeah, Krishna is trying to teach me some lesson, everything is fine. It's not fine. You will hurt. It'll be painful. You will do that. But in that pain, instead of saying, why is Krishna doing this to me? The question will be, there is something good that Krishna is going to do. Something good is going to come out of this.
Like my granddaughter's Mataji, and she admitted to the medical school. She's going to the school and then she's having her experiences. She shares with me the other day. She was doing that dead body, this thing.
Cadaver.
She told me. But what I'm saying is, she had that big fall and she's not able to walk. She's wheelchair bound. But still, she feels happy. She says, I got this. I will try my best to do something.
Good.
So instead of going only wheelchair bound, if she had something major defect, major problem, then that is more dangerous. So Krishna has gave her mercy that much. That's what we all think that now. So whatever Krishna did, it would have been more this thing, but she had just up to legs only. She's everything is fine with her whole body. So those things sometimes
Right.
we feel Krishna every moment from Mataji.
Yeah.
Our
Thank
life
you for
experience.
Thank you for sharing that. I remember, is it 4 years ago? This happened?
Yeah, 2.5 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
COVID times, right? Was it COVID?
COVID time, yeah.
COVID time.
2-3 years already. But she smiles all the time, and she's going in wheelchair. Sometimes in the campus only they got the rental apartment, because his sister is also there. Mother has to take care. 3 people have to live. My son moved to Austin. So, but what happens is they are just taking their life like that. And then she takes, my daughter-in-law takes her sometimes. Sometimes she says, if it is light, I want to come in the wheelchair only, I can come. But night, I'm not daring it, because if somebody attacks me, I cannot run fast. I can go. So that's what she thinks, So whatever Krishna did, there might be some reason. And then my son's past life, something is there, or her life is there, her mother's life, or mine also, some contribution might be past life. I might have done something to see her like that. So these things, I think Krishna's part is there, and we should thank whatever he has given us life.
Right.
Anyway.
And so as we see in Bhagavad-gita that Krishna is telling Arjuna, right?
Yeah.
So Arjuna was afraid to fight, and he was afraid to fight. So he says like one full chapter worth of reasons why he should not fight. And then for the next 17 chapters, Krishna guides Arjuna back to the battlefield, right? To say, okay, go do your duty. That's what your duty is. So the interesting thing about devotional service is that Krishna guides us in our devotional service also. So when you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 10 more towards you, right? He'll get you the books to read. Where do books suddenly materialize in our lives, right? Krishna arranges those for us. So he's guiding, right? So what does a guide do? Like if you have to go to, you go to a city and you have to see various places, you get a guide, right? And I'll pay some money to the guide. The guide will take me to the Taj Mahal. He'll take me to the Red Fort, like that, take you to various places in a city. He'll take you to the destination that you want to go do, right? That's what a guide does, right? A map is a guide. Garmin is a guide, right? Google Maps is a guide. These are guides. So Krishna also acts as a guide to take us to the destination. And in this case, the guide is the destination.
Yes.
Right?
This
is different from what we have. Okay, so I will stop here and open up for more reflections. Anything else you have to say?
Like you said, Krishna is the guide, and he tells us, and whatever he gives, good or bad, like Kunti Maharani says, if you give difficulties also, I keep on thinking of you. So either way, we think of him only, good or bad. Bad happens also. Oh, Krishna, what is it? Like that we think too.
So Hare Krishna, Madhuri. Can I ask, Madhuri?
Yeah, sure.
Madhuri, so when you said we were discussing about transcendental rituals, so both have to go together. Rituals as well as the jnana, the knowledge of Krishna, so that
without knowledge, it will
develop.
We
will not be able to develop our relationship with him,
right,
unless we have the knowledge.
Right. You have the knowledge, and rituals will build a very nice relationship. For example, it's in India in the old days. I don't think it happens any longer. Is that the daughter-in-law would get up in the morning and go and touch the feet of the elderly in the family.
Mother-in-law.
Yes.
Right? Mother-in-law, father-in-law, like that, right? So it was a ritual, but that ritual would lead to something, right? A nice
Blessings, blessings.
Control of
They will
yourself,
give blessings.
surrender, like that, right?
Yeah.
So rituals are good to do. Now, what is the ultimate? What are they trying to say? That, you should respect your elders. So she can respect her elders without touching their feet.
Yeah.
Right? Can she or can she not? She can
Do
do
their
right?
needful things and help them like
Right.
that.
So basically what that means is that as a daughter-in-law, she has to think about her in-laws in everything that she does.
Yeah.
Right? A woman goes to a family and she's living there. The husband is there, nice, cozy relationship, and you forget about his parents. And so we should be thinking about them, which basically means that, the wife and husband go out for a movie, have dinner outside and come home, forgetting that somebody has to cook for the parents also, right, who are old. So you have to think about, similarly, we have to think about. So Krishna says in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Mayyeva mana adhatsva, may buddhim niveshaya. Niveshasya mayyeva atha
Mayeva
udham
atha
nasach.
udam yasamshaya.
He says that you put your mind always in me. That is the ultimate samadhi, right? Samadhi is you're only thinking about Krishna. That the guide Krishna has taken us to the destination, which is also Krishna. Right? So we should focus on that. But then Krishna knows that this is Kali Yuga, it's not possible to do. So he says, Atha chittam samhādhātum na saknoshi mai sthiram. If you're not able to control and engage your mind sthir and on me only, Atha chittam samhādhātum na saknoshi mai sthiram. Abhyas yogena tato mam ichchaptum dhananjaya. Then he says you go to abhyas. Abhyas is rituals. Right?
Okay.
To do the ritual, I have to get up in the morning, I have to take a shower, I will take a shower because I have to do a Mangal Arati, I have to do this, I have to cook, I have to do that. Right? So what happens is that subconsciously your mind is in Krishna, right? Because you're cooking for Krishna. But there is it's at a lower level because it can get deviated. While I'm cooking, I can think of something else other than Krishna, right? In comparison to meditating and focus the mind on Krishna, it can happen. However, if somebody is not at that level, and if they are engaged in cooking for Krishna, they will get some, at least, in 10 minutes, they will think about 1 second about Krishna, right? At least they thought 1 second about Krishna, right? So that's progress at a slow pace, but that's what I'm right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Abhyase api ashaktosi mat karma parmo bhava. Then he says, oh, if you can't even do the abhyas, oh, like this, doing the arti service to the Lord, I have to first prepare something, take a shower, I have to make the thali arti plate, I have to then offer the arti, then take out the arti plate, I have to wash it, keep it, dry it. I don't have the time, I have to go to office, what do I do? Right? Abhyase api ashaktosi. Then he says, mat karma parmo bhava. All right, I'm not asking you to get up at 6 in the morning and do this, or afternoon, evening. I'm not asking you to do any of these transcendental rituals, right? But you do some work for me. So how about come to the temple and chop some vegetables? Join Sukamal Radhe Mataji's team and chop.
She's lucky she's doing that.
Right? So you can go and sweep the temple, right? You can do that. Right? So then, Athetadapi ashaktosi kartum mad yogam ashrita. They said, if you're not even able to do that, like why? Because the family is antagonistic, they don't allow me to go to the temple. Then what do you do? My husband is against, my children are against. If somebody might say that.
Pray at home.
Right? So
They do, Mataji. They do.
Right? So then in that case, he just says, Sarva karma phala tyagam tatha kuru yatatmaman. So he says that, give up the results of your labor. So what are the results of a labor? Lakshmi. Then you go and donate some Lakshmi to Krishna. That's the lowest level. But if you donate Lakshmi to Krishna, then your mind stays on Krishna and the Lakshmi. I gave $10,000 to the temple. I don't know what the temple is going to do. Do you think they're going to put the altar? Do you think the pujari is going to keep half of it?
Oh, sometimes they are
Oh my.
Thinking about that. That is mine. Right? So it's at a lower level. A higher level mind is nindadi shunya, will not criticize, will not think about these things, will understand that I am aloof from this soul. Right? Lowest of all is the dull matter. Above the dull matter, the senses. Above the sense is the mind. Above the mind is the intelligence. Above the intelligence is I, the soul. And above me is the super soul in this body. Does that answer your question, Prashana?
Yes, Mataji. I was thinking all the time.
Mataji, this is Sahasrasirusha Purusha is the Purusha Suktam.
It's also from there, yeah. So these scriptures have verses that repeat from here, there, right?
I know Śrī Suktam, I don't know Purusha Suktam that much.
You know Hare Krishna Mahamantra? That's all.
Yeah.
You need. That's all you need to know.
We're done with notes.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare.
Sarvadharman Parityaja.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Shraddha Mataji. It's always the best. I know I say every week the
Thank
same
you
thing.
so much.
I thought you're going to India.
Because Krishna is there, he's the best, so he speaks through me. I don't nothing.
Sobarada is going on the 3rd next month.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
She's joining.
When are
She's
you
joining
going
Guru
for the
Maharaj in
yatra?
Vrindavan.
Very nice, very
When
nice.
are you leaving for yatra, Mataji?
Say that again. I will tell you on our chat. This is Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear me,
Hare
Mataji?
Krishna.